On April 24th, 2013, the day began like any other for Reshma Begum, a 19-year-old seamstress in Dhaka, Bangladesh. That morning, she arrived early at the Rana Plaza garment factory where she worked. Like thousands of others, she depended on this job to support her family. But what she didn't know was that she had just stepped into one of the deadliest industrial disasters in modern history. Just before 9 a.m., the entire 8-story building began to tremble. Workers panicked. Shouts echoed. Floors cracked. And in an instant, the entire structure collapsed, burying over 3,000 workers under tons of concrete, steel, and broken machines. Among them was Reshma. When rescuers arrived at the site, what they saw was pure devastation. Mountains of rubble, twisted metal, the cries of the trapped slowly fading into silence. Over the next few days, hundreds of survivors were pulled out, but for many others, time was already running out. For Reshma Begum, the nightmare was only beginning. She had fallen 3 stories deep, crushed between a fallen beam and a concrete slab. She couldn't move. The only thing that kept her alive in those first hours was a tiny pocket of air. It was pitch dark, still, and filled with dust so thick she could barely breathe. She couldn't see. She couldn't scream. All she could do was listen to the sound of other trapped workers slowly dying, one by one. She waited and waited. The next day passed, then another. Reshma had no food, no water. Her throat dried, her stomach cramped, her body began to fail. On the 4th day, she heard a sound, a rhythmic tapping. Was it rescuers or just her imagination? She screamed until her voice cracked. No answer. Every hour that passed felt like an eternity. By the 6th day, she found a small pipe sticking from the concrete above her. Water was slowly dripping from it. She cupped her hands and drank drop by drop, just enough to stay alive. That single pipe may have been the only reason she survived. She prayed. She cried. She begged, but no one came. As days turned into weeks, the rescue effort above was slowing down. Officials had lost hope. They believed no one else could be alive.
They began clearing debris with bulldozers, moving from rescue to recovery, but underground, Reshma was still alive. On day 17, a faint noise caught her attention. Scraping, movement, voices. She screamed with all the strength left in her. "Save me! Save me! I'm alive!" And for the first time in over 2 weeks, someone answered. Rescue workers immediately stopped everything. Silence fell. They shouted down, "Who are you?" Her voice came back. "My name is Reshma." The workers were stunned. They had been working on that part of the rubble with no idea someone was still alive. The team sprang into action, calling in medics, digging teams, and journalists. Cameras rolled as workers drilled, crawled, and cut through concrete, working for hours to reach her. Then finally, the impossible happened. Reshma was pulled out, alive, dusted with debris, weak and shaking, but smiling. After 17 days underground, surviving on rainwater and sheer willpower, she had beaten the odds. The crowd around the site broke into cheers and tears. Medics rushed her to the hospital. She asked for one thing: "I want to see my mother." Reshma's survival became a global miracle. News outlets around the world covered her story. People called her the Miracle Girl, and in the aftermath, the tragedy of Rana Plaza became a turning point, exposing the horrific working conditions in many developing countries and triggering global reforms in factory safety. But for Reshma Begum, her story was more than survival. It was about hope, endurance, and the will to live when everything seemed lost. If you found this story moving, subscribe for more unbelievable true survival stories, illustrated in stick figure style. Let us know in the comments what survival story you want to see next.